coverage you can count on. This is WNEM TV5 News.
A big night across Michigan with several hotly contested races that will shape the next 4 years of state and many local governments.
The big one, the race for governor between incumbent Democrat Gretchen Whitmer and Republican challenger Tudor Dixon, who has the backing of former President Donald Trump.
Let's take a look at the numbers at this hour. Whitmer has 53% of the vote with 30% of precincts reporting, but there is still a lot of counting to be done.
We have team coverage of some of the biggest races with Elise Ramey at Democratic headquarters in Detroit, James Felton at Republican headquarters in Grand Rapids, and Raven Blue covering the Flint mayoral race.
We begin with Elise in Detroit, live at the Motor City Casino. Elise.
David, Meg, the anticipation here in Detroit only growing as the night wears on. You can hear the music. The crowd here is absolutely pumped up to see what tonight might hold for Governor Gretchen Whitmer. The governor has yet to take the stage tonight. We do expect to hear from her shortly, really at any moment now. But Senator Debbie Stabenow taking to the stage moments ago to give Whitmer praise. Let's listen in.
And I'm very proud to have a governor who is every single day on the job for us. Toughest of times, but the reality is that we in Michigan, we are coming back. We have a manufacturing renaissance. We are investing in our children. We're investing in our future. We're protecting our Great Lakes. We believe in science. We believe in moving forward as a state. And our governor is going to make sure we keep doing it.
The senator also giving a lot of praise to the volunteers for the effort that they've put in throughout this election cycle, really saying that what she's seen is something that's on par or even better with what we saw for the midterm in 2018. So again, we are still waiting to hear from Governor Whitmer here in Detroit, but we're also going to hear from Attorney General Dana Nessel as well as Secretary of State Jocelyn Benson as we start to watch those results come in. The crowd here really getting pumped up. There are two big screen TVs here. Every time they see a Democratic candidate or a proposal that they're in favor of come across the screen, you hear a lot of cheers. The music, like I said, is going, and so you see people really dancing, getting into the moment, but ultimately waiting to see what the results will be. I talked to a few people, the emotions ranging from anxious, I would say, to very hopeful. So we still have a lot to watch as we continue throughout the night. For now, I'll send it back to you in the studio.
All right, Elise, thank you. Whitmer's Republican opponent, Tudor Dixon, is a pro-life candidate who has criticized Whitmer's handling of the pandemic.
She's trying to become the state's 49th governor and only the third woman to serve in that role. TV5's James Felton joins us live from her headquarters in Grand Rapids. James.
David and Meg, I am here with a bunch of optimistic Tudor Dixon supporters here in Grand Rapids. Want to show you what they've been doing pretty much the whole night, sitting around, talking, having a good time, cheering when Republicans across the country win their respective races, not having much of a reaction when they see that Governor Whitmer, is leading Dixon, but again, it's early, about a third of the votes have been counted. So they still know there's 2/3 of the votes that still need to be processed tonight. So even though it's just after 11 o'clock, it feels like the beginning of the night. And earlier, I talked to a couple of supporters and asked them what they think, what kind of governor Dixon would be.
Fair, open. I think there, she said something in the debate that I thought was really interesting when she admitted how little she knew about governance, but how open she was to meeting with people on both sides of the aisle to get smarter and have really the best talent and the most competent people around her as she governs the state of Michigan.
Dixon would be for the families, and I tell you, we need to bring our families back to Michigan and have those core values instilled in our families.
And so far, no one has taken this stage behind me, but that is going to be changing at 11:15. We are told that Tudor Dixon will come out and address us at 11:15, giving brief remarks. For now, reporting live in Grand Rapids, James Felton, WNEM TV5.
Thank you, James. The other big races at the top of the state ticket, those for Attorney General and Secretary of State.
Let's take a look at the numbers. In the AG race, Republican Matt DePerno is taking on incumbent Democrat Dana Nessel. Nessel has 52% of the vote with 31% of precincts reporting.
Secretary of State Jocelyn Benson with 31% of precincts reporting. She is at 54% against Christina Caramo.
Let's get to the statewide proposals, beginning with arguably the most controversial, Proposition 3.
It would make abortion a constitutional right in Michigan, preventing any future legislature from banning the procedure. Opponents claim the proposal would have effects beyond its stated purpose. At this hour, as you can see, 31% of precincts reporting, 55% yes, 45% no.
To Proposal 2, which would expand voting rights. Votes toward passage are outpacing votes toward rejection.
Proposal 1, which would require lawmakers to file personal financial disclosure reports and tweak the way term limits work. At this hour, 22% of precincts reporting, 65% yes, 35% no.
With control of Congress at stake, among the most watched races in mid-Michigan between Congressman Dan Kildee and Paul Young in the newly redrawn District 8. At this hour, Kildee is behind Paul Young, who has 49%, and that is with 30% of precincts reporting.
In the newly redrawn District 2, Republican Congressman John Molinar with 39% of precincts reporting. He is at 64% to Jerry Hilliard at 34%.
Now, we still have much more to get to, so make sure you watch the ticker. It's right there at the bottom of your screen for results.
And now let's check in with Chris for weather.
David, Meg, thankfully a very smooth day for the election. It does look like our temperatures are falling off pretty quickly, though, tonight. So ahead at the bus stops tomorrow, definitely going to be a coat kind of morning. 33 in Saginaw, 39 in Bay City, 33 in Midland, and 38 in Flint. Lapeer still holding out of the 40s there. Oscoda at 45, East Tawas at 47, and Port Hope at 46. Seeing that lake influence flip as we go into the nighttime hours, where those locations were a little bit cooler during the day. Our winds primarily out of the southeasterly direction tonight, very light between 5 and 10. Those will drop off a little bit more as we go towards tomorrow morning, thankfully so we won't be dealing with an extreme wind chill. Your first alert pinpoint Doppler radar tonight is all dry. Showers getting closer, but they'll stay away for at least a few more days. Not anticipating any of those in our region for Wednesday or for Thursday. Next chance not until Friday. A live look at Birch Run along I-75. Your Godwin's camera looks pretty good tonight. No threat of any visibility at the moment, and does appear that we'll get through tomorrow morning just fine too. Hour by hour through the next 12, a few passing clouds, but we break into sunshine pretty quickly Wednesday morning. The rest of your forecast coming up in a bit.
Okay, thank you, Chris. Much more on the midterms to come.
And joining us in the studio in just a little bit, a political science professor at CMU will give her take on what she's seeing tonight. And throughout the evening, we'll continue to bring you results from some of our local elections, and just here's a couple right now.